we were real estate, right? So we were in the real estate background. And then, so I got thinking to myself, if I bring the real estate and I bring the contracting part aspect together, we're selling a home now. We just don't have to sell it. We can actually, hey, we'll build out 5 extra bedroom for you,
Right.
or we'll build out a garage for you, or something like that. So I started to merge the two companies together, and that's why eventually now we can basically do anything. We can do residential, we can do commercial. We've had some big custom home builds. We've had some big dispensary builds. Been very, grateful. Man upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Everything goes to him for the simple fact that I was able, or he gave me the opportunity to put the thought of putting it together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And allowing me to go through these steps without any like real big potholes in the road. You know what I'm saying? There were some potholes there, but he left it where I was able to get over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He allowed me to learn it and go over it. And
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode. I think this is episode 42 on Inside the PAC podcast. My name is Starsu. I'm the host. Kaleo Hedo can't be here today. Obviously, she's in a different state, but we're going to keep this rolling. Before I introduce our guest here, as you guys can see, but just want to tell you guys a little bit about our podcast. So we're here for another episode. On episode 42 for this podcast, we are excited to bring you another Islander, as you can see. And here at the podcast, we're dedicated to amplifying the voices and experiences of the Pacific Islanders like never before. As always, our podcast is proudly brought to you by Pasifikaveco Company, where our mission is to celebrate and elevate the diverse heritage of our Pacific Islander communities. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show. With my pleasure of introducing to you, he is hailing all the way from the beautiful islands of Tonga, now currently living here in Arizona. He is the esteemed owner of Lions Properties, a real estate and construction company. So join us as we dive more deeper into his journey, his life experiences with Lions Properties, and growing up in Tonga and transferring it out here. Welcome, Samisoni Tuipulotu.
thank you for having me.
Welcome on in. I think before we started this, you're telling me you've never done this type of things before.
No,
It's not bad.
not bad.
Not that nerve wracking.
Why not just jump into it, right?
Right. But yeah. So if you don't mind, just introducing yourself. I mean, I know I mentioned a little bit about it, but introduce yourself. Where you're from? How was your upbringing? Just a quick background.
Well, my name is Samisoni Tuipulotu. Came out here at a young age, around 8 years old. Traveled out here with my dad and my brother. Came out here brand new, man. There's like going from one place where you had coconut trees
Right.
and everything, and it was like to the concrete jungle. So it was like a lot of stuff that we had to overcome, but we're able to be here.
That's like a common story with a lot of islanders, especially in this day and age now. They like to say that it's a better opportunity out here in the land of the free, I guess you want to call it, right? It's kind of brings me to Lions Properties. Obviously this is a company that you started from the ground up, right? And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I wanted to kind of break the ice a little bit, ask you a few questions of questions roulette, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I just hit my mic. But questions roulette. So 10 questions. You answer it however way you want to answer it, and no pressure. So, first question: would you rather watch a TV series or movies?
Movies,
Stuffed crust pizza or thin crust pizza?
thin crust,
Thin crust, my man. Comedy or drama movies?
drama movies,
Drama. Oh, okay. Live without internet access or without air conditioning?
air conditioning.
Air conditioning, God, especially nowadays. We need the internet, man.
We're out here. We're in Arizona, man. It's hot, so I'm used to it.
Oh, there you go.
I'm okay with that.
Travel the world, but never go back to where you already visited, or stay in one place, but never travel again.
Never go back to the same place.
That's a good one. I would probably do that. Be able to breathe underwater or breathe in outer space.
Underwater.
Underwater. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Obviously. Apologize first or wait for someone to say they're sorry to you?
I'd wait.
You'd wait? Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just thinking about my.
I'm not in a rush to say I'm sorry. Ever. If it does happen, but I don't know. No rush at all. I gotta expose every part of it before I say I'm sorry.
You're not wrong there. You're not wrong. Be the most popular in school or the smartest in school?
Nowadays, I'm saying the smartest in school. Back days it was about popular.
Yeah. Go to sleep with the lights off or lights on?
On.
On. Same with me. All right. I don't know if you watch basketball, but who would win? The 2017 Golden State Warriors with Steph Curry or the 95 Chicago Bulls with MJ?
It'd be the Bulls.
Give me the Bulls too. There you have it, guys. Steph Curry. Bye.
I watched them both, so
It's hard, It's a lot of people like to say, especially with sports in general, it's kind of generational.
right.
Because the game was totally different back then to how it is now, and same goes for football too. I mean, look at all the new rules and stuff.
Yeah. Made it soft.
You're not right. Speaking of sports, who's your teams?
I'm a home team guy. The Cardinals.
Cardinals.
I watch the D-backs, but I'm a Atlanta Braves baseball.
Nice.
Top house.
You like the picks, first round picks for the Cardinals?
I didn't get to watch a lot of it on this one. I was pretty busy this weekend, but
I felt that.
I'm not hearing bad things. Nobody's calling me saying I can't believe this. But I heard we did get a quarterback.
Corner or quarter? Quarterback. I'm not sure. All I remember is you guys got the best receiver in the draft and Marvin Harrison Jr.
Maybe it was a cornerback then.
Probably a corner.
Yeah.
But I know you guys got one of the best receivers, and which is much needed because I know Kyler Murray needs weapons around him.
Right.
So we'll see how the whole season actually. Everybody's team's just kind of amped up now. There's a lot of changes around the whole NFL. Shoot, and shout out to all our, this is an Islander podcast. Shout out to all the Islanders. I think there was like 9 Islanders drafted.
Yeah, it's very, very good for our people.
Oh yeah,
getting in there
for sure. I think you could see. I don't know if you saw it yet, but those the boys that got drafted, they had all their families around them on the TV and stuff. Just kind of makes us feel proud for them,
right?
Because they're representing on the bigger stage now, with sports.
And with us is like we're proud too as being Tongans, where we see other Samoan athletes getting drafted and making it. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's vice versa. I think the Samoans are happy, like, oh man, that's one of them Tongan guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think to this scale of it, we all want our people to succeed other than outside the business or outside on the streets. It's a little different.
Right.
So it's a good thing, positive thing for both sides and all the Polynesians that are getting drafted around. The Hawaiians are getting drafted and stuff. So for all of us.
Yeah, I think there's a good number of Hawaiians in the league now. And then I think half of the Islanders that got drafted this year was Tongan.
Yeah.
Or they had Tongan descent.
Right. It's growing for us.
Yeah, it's growing for
mainly the Samoans dominated for so long.
For a while, yeah, from back then, yeah.
And so we're starting to get in there. But I mean, the Samoans led the way. I kind of felt like we were kind of just there, but we weren't kind of chiming in. Yeah. Now we're really chiming in. Now we're pulling our kids in there, pushing them to go play football because of the opportunity.
Right. Just give them a shot. I know your sister mentioned it in her episode, like just giving your kids the opportunities and then let them choose for themselves if they really want to go that route or whatever. But yeah, let's dive into about your company, Lions Properties. I've heard a lot about it. I've seen a lot on the social media and stuff from your sister and your brother actually. But yeah, why and how did you get started with Lions Properties?
Well, we started Lions Properties kind of venturing off. My dad was a landscaper from back in the days, so we kind of just grew up around hard work, or they call it hard work. To us, it was hard work, but it wasn't hard labor to us. It was just natural.
Right.
Just going to work with our dads or uncles, picking up the landscaping trade before we stepped in. And we had one guy give me a shot one day when we were working on a project, brought us into the house, says, "Hey, can you guys tear this whole area out? Can you guys do this?" and move it. And he left, came back an hour later, we tore the whole house apart. And he had, he never seen that before with the other guys he's hired and stuff. And he's like, "You want to learn some of this?" And that was it. I jumped in and said, leaving the outside, going in, working in AC, and just not really just doing hard work anymore. Really, it became to a point we're going to be doing technical stuff.
Right.
And the fact that it's limitless. Landscaping is whatever's outside when you're done is done. Inside a building, you go from plumbing, framing, electrical. There's way more avenues for you as a person or a company to make more money.
For sure, and it's all about meeting the right people. Um, I I wouldn't say the right people. It's more of like maybe the right time of meeting people. Obviously, you met that person and it gave you the opportunity, and obviously it just built from there, which is all you could do, right? If you get an apple now, you take that apple and figure out how you're gonna make that last. You know what I'm saying? So
Because we took it from that, and then we were real estate, right? So we were in the real estate background of it. So I got thinking to myself, if I bring the real estate and I bring the contracting part aspect together, we're selling a home now. We just don't have to sell it. We can actually, hey, we'll build out 5 extra bedroom for you,
Right.
or we'll build out a garage for you, or something like that. So I started to merge the two companies together, and that's why eventually now we can basically do anything. We can do residential, we can do commercial. We've had some big custom home builds. We've had some big dispensary builds. Been very, grateful. Man upstairs, you know what I'm saying? Everything goes to him for the simple fact that I was able, or he gave me the opportunity to put the thought of putting it together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And allowing me to go through these steps without um, any like real big potholes in the road. You know what I'm saying? There were some potholes there, but he left it where I was able to get over it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He allowed me to learn it and go over it. And slowly and over time, I'm just trying to get my team with it, but it's starting to grow. We're catching a buzz right now that 4 years ago it kind of started, and then now we're just riding a nice wave.
That's good. That's good. That's all you can do. Just ride the wave and see where it takes you. And if it's not somewhere where you would like it to be, then you just adjust, right?
Yep.
So that's all you can do. Happy for you guys. I'm glad it's working out. That's why I wanted to bring you on, just to kind of share that story of where you started with this and where you see this going in the future. Speaking of that, where do you see Lions Properties, 5 years down the line, 10, and so forth?
So if you look at the name, it's when we came up with the name, it's Lions Properties, and sometimes people want to put it as Lions Contracting or Lions General Contracting. I put it as Lions Properties because we want to be able to own multiple properties. We want to be able to run multiple properties as in commercial. So sometimes generally like that, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, but I'm focusing for the future for us to be able to have a management company
Right.
on top of the construction company of it, and being a manager where I'm not working too hard or we're not working too much.
Right.
I give a lot of shout out to my people that works behind the scene with me because what I'm saying, they help me get to this point. You know what I'm saying? You see only one person, but you don't see all the people behind it, the scenes that take to what I'm saying, to get to the produce the vision that I have.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, that's the goal of it. Is Lions Properties is to eventually own a management company on top of the general contract company, because that itself will manage everything in the process.
How much of a challenge it is, because there's a lot of companies out there, construction, real estate, whatever it may be, or combined. How much of a challenge is that, and how do you overcome that? Do you kind of just focus on your vision, not worrying about the outside, or you kind of play off of what other people are doing? Kind of run me through that.
Well, with me, I kind of accept it. I like walking into a project or a building and I see another general contractor's truck outside or inside the building,
Right.
because they can't run the speed we run. Okay, in this part right here, there's a lot of money. if you move fast enough and still produce the same quality. And that's what I focus to push is quality and speed. And you can save some money. It takes a very, very long time. But with us, like we have contracts that we walk into where they give us 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I do it in 7 days.
Okay.
So that's one of the biggest push that we have. So when even though you have competition out there, if I get to the job or if you want the job, I'm not worried about it because they can't do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes down to just the speed, the integrity of it, but most of all, at the end, the finished product, the quality, how we leave it, is what allows us to be able to not even worry about competitors.
Yeah.
Like I said, I accept it when I show up. It's like the old days show up. There's a challenge there.
Yeah. Sure.
And we're like, okay, we're gonna see what we can do, and then
Yeah.
I don't worry about it because if they're there to take a job from us, or we're there to, outbid or try to bid with them. I'm fine with it at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
because if we don't do that job, then they'll have problems where they have to call us, and we actually come and solve the problem.
Right. It's all I see it as all friendly competition, right? Everybody's trying to you know, provide for their families, and that's how the world is. It's a dog eat dog world, but now to do that civilly is a different story, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like you guys are doing that because it's more of, hey, we produce great products. If you don't like it, then so be it. Let's move on to the next one, right?
Yes.
And that's a lot of kind of a mindset thing where not a lot of people have that strong mentality. And where I'm getting at is I believe personally that our islanders have that strong mentality because of our humble beginnings where we came from. So take me through a little bit of that, of from moving from Tonga to here in Arizona, and kind of building up that strong mentality to be able to do these things with land property or any other things that you do in life.
Islanders are very crafty people. You know what I'm saying? We could walk into a forest and cut the trees down and
Mhm.
start building a hut. Next, we got a hut, we got a
Right.
village.
Right.
That's just naturally how we are. We're builders, we're get it done people. Back home when I seen how we were growing before we came here, my dad and my grandpa were farmers. So they find the field, plant the plants,
Yep.
find somebody to get the plants, sell the plants. It's almost the same thing that I'm doing now. I'm producing myself just in construction the same way they were doing it back in the islands. Get the plants, get the demand for the plants, plant it as fast as we can, get the best quality of plants, and sell it. That's the same thing that we're doing here. Transforming, I came here and I'm running Alliance Properties. I took a venture to try to get interactive with my roots, and I went back 8 years ago and I started CavaKings.com. And that's where we went back home, started plantation, because it was very easy because I implicated what I'm doing in construction here.
Right.
There's phases to this. There's stages. We have to do this first to do this. So our people is very, very knowledgeable, especially if one of them gets the idea and gets it right.
Mm-hmm.
They're running 100 miles an hour.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to catch up with them. And we're come from an area where we don't slow down. We
Yeah.
don't look back.
Yeah.
Hurry up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going at this rate.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have to try to cusp it right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before we lose the drive, because we could be very, diverse off the road very easy when we choose.
Yeah.
But if we're going on that, and that's where I think I've taken a lot of my stuff that I put into construction, and my everyday life is watching how they do it back home. I've been able to go back home many, many times because of the farm. And going back home is very humbling because you go back home. I get off the plane. I got Nikes on. I got Nike shoes on. I got a Nike shirt on. I got a Nike hat on.
Yeah.
I got Michael Jordan and stuff like that. And I walk off and I meet people that only have flip flops, tupendos, shorts,
Right.
and they're going to the jungle. And I'm like, my first few days there, I'm still clean.
Yeah.
I'm swagged out.
Yeah.
After a week being in the islands, I got flip flops and shorts on just like everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I end up coming back 3 weeks later, a month later, I'm bringing that with me.
Mm-hmm.
So I get here. So the stuff that we have here really kind of makes no sense to me for the at least few months that I'm here.
Yeah.
We're not spending no more money. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this because I need to take that and put it into my little addition I need to do here because it's gonna help the family.
Yeah.
We don't need this many cars. Sell that car. We're gonna use that money to build this house that's gonna help the family. And they go, 3-4 months later, I'm back to in the U.S.
I mean, that just goes to show. I think I talked with your siblings on the last episode, saying how like the world is just constantly moving. And,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't grasp it, like you said, you're gonna fall behind. And just kind of going with, going with the flow of things, you know what I mean? But at least you have the experience of going back home, bringing it back here, and allowing that to uh, make you remember where your roots are, basically. So kind of connecting the your Tongan Polynesian roots. I mean, you kind of mentioned it, you talked about it, but in what if there are any, in what ways do you kind of incorporate your heritage, your Tongan roots, or some of the practices into your business practices, if there are any?
One of the biggest things that we include in our company is like we buy lunch for everybody that works for us. Okay, lunch is a thing that's provided just like back home. You're in the village, you go to the jungle, you work in the jungle. There's a pot that's cooked and everybody eats from that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, everybody eats. Whatever's in there is what we have to eat. And when it's done, it's done. Nobody's going to say I'm more hungry, I'm not. Or saying I was there, but I didn't get to eat because I didn't bring my lunch. So that I incorporate that to this day now because I think it helps not just with loyalty, or asking a person, hey man, we have to try to get this knocked out here in the next hour, even though it's already 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and they're already thinking about going home. We need to knock this out. And they don't say it all the time. Let me stick around because you bought this lunch. I think it affects it because they will stick out to
Right,
ride that
right,
thing out to finish. And it's simply, I think that's one of the things that we do. And saying before our meals and stuff, it doesn't matter if I have 10 guys out there, 20 guys out there, nobody eats until we pray. That's the only other thing that I can see as an islander that we kind of, put it into our company. I think it's a strong base to try to do that. Anything else, you have to adjust yourself to the American way of business.
Right, right, right.
If not, you're gonna lose even more money.
Yeah. I mean, what do they say? Food brings people together. It's
Yes.
one of the things that really brings people together, no matter what skin color you are, what race you are, or whatever. And that's a great point because not in just Tongan, but all Islander cultures and traditions, like food is that ceremonial thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, in a way, I could see with Lions Properties providing just simple lunch for the whole. It is kind of ceremonial, celebrating the family that we have here, right? Or you guys have there.
Right.
I'm over
Because
here
the business becomes your family.
right, exactly.
And if you don't
Exactly.
have people inside of your business or your structure that looks at you as family, they're not in it for the long run. They're here today, they're hired hand or whatever like that. With me, I incorporate a lot of my stuff. So every once in a while, we'll throw a barbecue and I'll have a little pig roast out there. I'll have a bocatunu. I'll have the guys come out. We'll make some food. We'll take the half day. We'll work a half day. The rest of it, we're going to enjoy it.
Nice.
And give back to, to the group.
Dang, you guys hiring? I wanna work there.
I always hire.
No, that's really good. I think that's a culture that I think all companies, not even just the smaller businesses, like even like big corporations, I think they should be doing that. Take care of their own, really, and that's kind of huge in our islander communities, is taking care of our own.
Yeah.
And doing that through food, or doing that through moral support, or whatever it may
Yeah.
be. It's huge, and that's a question for a lot of these small businesses that are islander run. I would want to ask them, because it kind of puts in perspective of, do you remember where your roots are? So what are you doing from your roots to incorporate it in this business that you're pushing forward? And it's something as simple as providing lunch. That's huge. So kudos to you for that. How is just to kind of throw it off a little bit because she's here? How is it working with your siblings?
It's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's challenging at times, but if I put the energy into somebody else outside my structure, you know what I'm saying, it might not help them, or they'll take that same and go use it somewhere else.
Hmm.
So at one point, you always want to try to, have people around you, incorporate them in it, especially if you're trying to build something. If you're building something that looks like it's going, I'd rather try to take the people with me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? As long as they can get their hands, you know what I'm saying, dirty, feet in the mud while we're down at this bottom level.
Right.
And then just wait for how it's gonna wave off in 5 years. But it'd be very challenging, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you got a brother, you're like, hey, what the heck? But you know what I'm saying? If you have a sister, you're like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you gotta hold that back. You gotta be respectful at the same time
Yeah.
too. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's one of the biggest things in our poly community is like, even though some things can be bad or whatever, but if I pick up a phone and says, hey, I need you to go over here and take a look at this property off hours, after hours, even on weekends, and people will help out.
Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying? Our family and you try to call Jose's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not working today. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, but that's the difference of, you know what I'm saying, being around your family or your structure around family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely a challenge because you got to find that balance of family and business.
Right.
Once you mix that up, who knows, like you might the business mindset might get messed up because now I'm like, oh, well, that's my sister, well, that's my brother, or whatever it is. Like, I'll let them slide, or whatever it is, right? Now you just messed up the business side because you're just looking out for family.
Not for me. Not for me. And they know it. 8 o'clock, and I'm standing there looking at the clock. 7:55, 7:56, 7. Because in the same sense, I got to be able to have everybody be responsible. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? And accountability.
right, exactly.
So as soon as it hits 8 o'clock, it's like an alarm clock. All right, what do we got? Let's run it. You know what I'm saying? Bring me this. Show me the emails. Show me the files. And all the way to a point now, they've restricted me on some hours, but we're trying to work that out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So in the afternoon, because, people have kids, they have,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, wives, they have husbands and stuff like that. So I got to be open to knowing that with me, it's basically my company.
Yeah.
So it's like constantly running,
Hmm.
constantly I'm thinking. So I try to push things off. And, sometimes I just need them to tell me, like, look, I'm off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm okay with that.
Yeah. It's that two-way street relationship, right? If you got if let's say I'm your brother and I'm working for you, I should respect you in a way where like this is your company. I don't want to just because I'm your brother, I could come late here or I could not show up for work. That's
Mm.
I got to respect you in that way because this is something that you built. I'm you're bringing me along the journey, right? And so I only bring that up because there are some people out there. I'm not saying your siblings, but I've heard stories that family kind of take advantage of family, and
That's big in a poly
oh
company.
yeah,
That's
it's
big in a
it's
poly.
big, and they kind of make you feel guilty about it. Like, no, but I'm your brother, I'm your sister,
You didn't show up to help us cook. Like, that's
right,
my day off. Like,
right,
no, for
right.
sure.
I mean that's a whole nother topic we can talk about later, but all right, we are back from the break. I just wanted to take this time to shout out Lions Properties. Thank you for being here. Sony, for being here, sharing your story. But before we continue, I just want to say again that this podcast is brought to you by Pacific Ave Company. Go and check out our website. The link is down below. If you guys want 10% off of your first purchase, go ahead and subscribe to our newsletter. And we will be coming out with a new drop soon, very soon. Let's continue on with our questions. Touching up back on our um, poly community and stuff. So the next question is: are there any initiatives or efforts you would like to do, if you're not already doing so, to support and uplift any our poly communities? Like maybe since you are an entrepreneur, maybe have like a class for younger islanders that want to get into this field.
Right now, we have, I got a good friend of mine. His name is Ronald Harlan, and he's getting ready to get a trade school going up. I think it's going to be fully operational here in about 2 3 months, and they're going to deal with like house inspection stuff, plumbing, plumbing, sewer, and electrical, and HVAC.
Okay.
So it's like HVAC and plumbing go side by side. So that's why they're starting the school up. But I think if I was able to get more Polynesian kids to go and learn a skilled trade, I think it's very, very important right now, and it's very, very demanding, and it's good money,
Mm-hmm.
because majority of the times if I sub out a lot of work, I sub it out to plumbing, I sub it out to electrical and HVAC, but HVAC no more. I just bought an HVAC company 4 months ago, so that part is pretty covered up. But our other highest expense now for general contractors is electrical and plumbing, and I've talked to a few my nephews and them did stuff. They went and started working for a company. They learned a little bit, too much hard work. And I said, look, you just gotta go through it for at least 2 3 years. Once you master it, you won't have to really look for anybody else for your job. We'll give you the jobs.
Yeah.
We'll send them over to you. And because I, pretty much basically know how much we spend on people, and they make really, really good money. So if you can get them to, what I'm saying, I'm trying to get more involved in that so I can kind of pull more of our Polynesian kids
Yeah.
to go trade there, because everybody's goal is the NFL, but not
Yeah.
everybody can make it,
Right. Right.
and so if we can get them to learn the skill, and it kind of, you can run it on your own hours, what I'm saying. So if I can find more ways to get our kids, interacted into it, and even when there's other contractors out here, Tongan contractors that call me, ask me about question stuff, I'm quick to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
I try to tell them this is what we need to do. Tell them the codes to it, to make sure we follow what's called for and permits and stuff. But saying, just having them to, if they got a company out there and they're trying to start a company, we want to be able to try to help them start
Right.
their companies.
Right.
You know.
To me, it's kind of a little bit tougher with the generations now, because of how tech savvy
Yeah.
everybody is, and nobody really does labor as much, or they're growing up not wanting to do labor because they saw their parents do it, and they're like, oh, that's too much hard work, da da da.
Yeah. They all think that though. They all
Yeah.
think they're tech savvy. What I'm saying? Not everybody can make it to the NFL. Not everybody can be good at the tech stuff.
Right.
So what I'm saying? Once you figure out you're not that really good in the tech stuff, get into the field.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't waste another 3 years, 4 years trying to pretend to be tech savvy. You know what I'm saying? Or using somebody else's tech savvy stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know you got hard work and you're a guy and you get out there, man, get out there in the field.
Yeah.
Call me up, and I'll tell you where to go. I'll tell you the names of companies to go to
Yeah.
look for a job. That in 2 3 years you'll be running your own, free from anybody being able to tell you what to do. You're gonna run your own hours and stuff like that. We'll definitely help you.
I mean, you said it earlier. I mean, it's in our Islander blood. We have that hard work ethic in our
Mhm.
blood. Now it's just a matter of getting it out, because they don't know if they will be fine with the labor if they don't actually try it. Give it the couple of years. You don't actually know if this is something that's actually going to work or not. You got to be patient, right?
Right.
And but by doing that, especially with the generation now, you allow them to have these opportunities. That's kind of basically all you're wanting. You just want them to take this opportunity, and if it goes well, then it goes well. If not, at least you tried.
Right.
That's the main thing, is you tried it. So um, that brings me to the next question. What advice would you give to fellow Pacific Islanders, especially the younger generation, that are looking to start their own business in general?
Like I said, if you're gonna start something, you got to have some experience in it. You got to be around it. Um, you know, if you're in construction and you want to eat, saying open up a pizza oven place, you just can't jump in there and do that. You
Right.
got to actually try to go work there. Be around somebody to learn it. So take the time to invest into what you're about to do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't set yourself failing already before you start. Look into it. Find out somebody else. Go and be internship for them. You know what I'm saying? Be a shadow for them for a while. But if you feel that's what you have, man, I just tell people just push your drive. Just push your drive. It's there for us. And before you even do like certain stuff like that, I would recommend if you're a Tongan or Samoan or even a Polynesian kid, if you get out of high school and you're not going to college and you're not, saying you're just looking to get a job, I would recommend going back home for 1 year. Because once you come back from back home, 1 year, your life will change. You will come back with a work ethic or even just a thought because of seeing what happens in Samoa and seeing what happens in Tonga and in the families, the line of work they do, the minimum money you're basing it on. You'll come back, you'll know where you want to go.
Yeah.
You'll know I'm jumping into, saying the electric, I'm jumping into building, I'm jumping into this. And you're going to have a drive for it because you're not just, I'm going to try this out.
Yeah.
No, because the people back home don't try to how to survive. They survive.
Yeah.
Okay? So once you come back from Tonga, Samoa, or even any other islands, you see what you see what their life is.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you come here, you already have a plan. On that plane ride here, you already have your plan.
Yep.
Basically that's the structure of your plan. I'm getting here, I'm getting established, I'm gonna find out where I need to be at, and I'm gonna focus and I'm gonna go at this. I really, really think that if we were able to do that for our kids or, young adults, to send them back home for 1 year after they're done in high school, because they're adults now.
Yeah.
We don't have to send them, they're young because we have to worry about them. But if you're able to, I would say send them at a younger age, like maybe around 10, 11, 12, so they can learn our culture, they can learn our language. And then after that, they see the hard work that our people do back home.
Yeah.
If you do that at the adult age, you already know what you want. You want to go back and make money. 1 year back home, it will change their life. Like it does for me as an adult at the age of, going back at the age of 25, 26, it kind of, aligned me again.
Yeah.
Because at different times I was, going left to right. But towards business, once I got back home, it was full on business. It still is full on business.
Yeah. That's interesting. I've asked this question a lot, and I've never got that advice before. Like send them back home. When they become adults, send them back home and, allow them to experience, you know, their culture. Allow them to experience their culture and bring it back with them, and it gives them a different perspective on life.
Right.
So, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think, shoot, maybe I got to do that. I haven't been back home since I was 7 years old, and I was only there for like 4 days for a funeral.
Wow.
That's the only time I usually travel back home to Samoa. Is for the last 2 times was actually, well, 3 times. 2 was for funeral, 1 for Samoa Bowl to play football.
You did the Samoa Bowl?
Yeah, 2011, 2010, 11.
Okay.
Yeah.
We took the group to Tonga for the Tonga Bowl in 2006. So like that also too helps
from here,
you out.
Arizona?
Yeah, from America. So we teamed up. We had Felipe Tuivai out of Seattle, Shiwaki and them out of Hawaii.
Oh, Shiwaki, yeah.
So we went out there in 2006. But that's the kind of infrastructure stuff that you're talking about that our kids need.
Yeah.
And people need, because they'll take them and get to see it. Like our experience was great, man, because we took kids that never seen Tonga.
Mm-hmm.
They never been to Tonga. They never knew a hard life in Tonga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To them, it's hard life. To Tongans, it was like normal life.
Yeah, normal.
Normal
Every day, man.
Every day. So yeah. So yeah, you've seen it.
I've seen it. I don't think I've fully delve into it and actually experienced the island life. And it's not my parents' fault. It's not nobody's fault. It's not my fault. Maybe I do play a part. I could go, myself and do it. Yeah, it'll be definitely an eye opener for me. Actually, if I actually end up going home. My wife keeps talking about moving back home. She did that. Her parents sent her back home. I think 6th grade to 8th grade. So she did 3 years.
That's that age.
Yeah.
12, 10,
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so she can she can speak fluent, she can understand, she knows everything, it's, she gets mad at me, about not going to church this morning because I didn't go, but, I'll go later.
Me
So
too.
it's, so it's stuff like that where, me and my wife, in a way, we're like two different people because she grew up in the island life. I grew up in a island life, but in Hawaii, but very Americanized.
Right.
So I think that's really good advice, to at least have our younger generation experience the island life back home.
Yeah,
That
before we
feel
lose it.
yeah,
Okay.
before we lose it.
Because I mean, if you're not structured around a city where there's a lot of Tongans and a lot of Samoans to keep the culture thing going on, it filters down a little bit. It filters down even a little more. It gets watered more down because I'm not 100% around my culture stuff every day, because I got to program it into working. I got to do this, and I go to meetings and I go do this instead of going to. I only show up basically. I try to show up when there's certain weddings, funerals and
Right.
stuff like that to do the traditional stuff, 21st birthdays and stuff.
Yeah.
If you take them back, because I can't teach everything, I can't teach or show everything that I was experienced with my grandparents growing up, because I don't go to a lot of stuff that much anymore.
Yeah.
So they don't get to see some of it. But if you have them go back home, they do that, say every weekend, every month, there's a family function, there's this,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying? So you have to learn the traditional cultural way how to do things, just even survival. We'll keep saying, you got to be up at 5 a.m. to
Yeah.
start the umu.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got to walk your way or go your way to church and
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you come back, you fuck it umu.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then after that, you eat. There's no, well, at least for us in Elwa, where I'm from, and then part of Tonga, there's no just pulling up KFC.
Yeah.
It's not like going to Golden Corral.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're Golden Corral, there's be a corral of you waiting for the umu.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But it's not instantly.
Yeah. I got one more question before we start ending this off, and kind of along the same lines of giving advice to grow islanders growing up now, but different in a way of islanders back home in Tonga or Samoa or wherever it is. Like, what advice would you give them since they are already in that island life and have that experience? Like, what advice would you give them if they wanted to start a business in construction or just in general?
If they're in Tonga and they don't have the opportunity to come here to America, I think they should just work hard because, like, before we came here to America, from what I've heard from stories, even my mom and dad, to my grandparents, we were pretty much pretty good. Okay, we were pretty good, well off to a point that we could have stayed, and we would probably be one of the families there that still were doing be very successful. So to me, I generally don't think it's a matter of where you're at. It's about how you approach it.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're back home and they put in the legwork, the time to work hard at something, work for somebody, learn what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And figure it out. If you can't partner up with them, then go ahead and start your own. Every day there's hundreds and hundreds of people coming around that need something. If you just focus on something, find a niche. There's people there in Tonga needs tongue and stuff.
Yeah.
So you just gotta put in the hard work.
Yeah.
No matter where it's at. If it's here in America or you're in Tonga,
Yeah.
you'll be able to tell the people that put in the hard work.
Yeah. That's interesting. A lot of people like to say they're limited because they don't have opportunities here compared to America or compared to another country or whatever. But to hear you say that, it don't matter where you are, as long as you got the work ethic, the drive, the willingness to sacrifice certain things, you're gonna get there. Now it's just a matter of when you're gonna get there.
Right.
And if you have the patience to, that the in between time from where you start to where it's going to be successful, so that's pretty interesting to hear that.
You gotta have thick skin.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay? You gotta have really thick skin. You gotta be able to have patience, endure hard work. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta push through it because I think in life they set up obstacles for you.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta pass through.
Yeah.
And I went through many, many, where people now they see me now and they're like, oh yeah, he's got it. He's, you know what I'm saying, he's been doing that. It's
Right.
easy. No, it's not.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
you didn't see what I had to go through.
exactly.
You know, they just see the outcome of what we have now.
For those of you who are watching, listening, appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen and watch and get to know Sonny more and Lions Properties. If you guys do, you guys flip houses and stuff too, right?
Yeah, we do everything
Do
from
everything.
residential to commercial.
Residential, commercial. If you guys are looking, right, check out Lions Properties. The links will be down below. You can reach out to them and get any of your guys' projects done or needed to be done or whatever it may be. I will be. I noticed that you like to wear hats, so that red hat is yours. A
Right?
small little gift for being on top of this show. With that being said, I'd like to close off this episode again, brought to you by Pacific Ave Company. Check out the website. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter for a 10% discount off of your purchase. Shout out to Alliance Properties. Maybe we could do like a partnership down the road with our two companies and see if we can collab on something. We'll talk more on that if you're open to it.
Yeah.
And then what I like to always end the show is with a couple quotes. And my partner, she has a quote. She already bashed me on not saying it correctly, and I'm gonna say it wrong again. But what she always likes to say is, don't forget to always basically just be yourself. That's pretty much what she says at the end of the day. Just be yourself. Don't apologize for it. Do what you can do to put your part in this world, your stamp on this world. And what I like to always say is to treat others the way that you want to be treated. If we do that, in this world's gonna be a way better place if we just kind of treat others with respect and the way that you want to be treated. I mean, unless there's people out there that wants to be treated bad, right?
Right.
So, do you have any quotes that you want to leave the listeners or watchers?
The only thing I do every day, and it's just my own, personal. God first, Tonga second. I say that every day. It makes me go to work. It makes me try to be the best that I could be. You know what I'm saying? We generate a lot of things around us because we're an islander. So I hold that every day on the job site. But everybody has to his own.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So, with that being said, thank you, Sony, for being on this episode. Shout out to Lions Properties again. Check them out on social media and all that shebang. And yeah,
Appreciate
great.
it. Yeah. Appreciate the time. Thank
No
you.
worries, man. No worries. And we are out.